Alright YouTube, welcome back. Well, this video is going to be about something that we did. Pretty stupid. We got into rats. So let's take a tour. Hey, alright, so just a quick thing before we actually get into this video. It's going to be in a different part of the dungeon down here, so the lighting is not great. I did move the rack out a little bit, so it needs a little bit more lighting. Hope you can see. I did do a video on the build of the rat rack. There's a lot of videos out there on rat rack builds, so I did not do the video on that. And I didn't want to do a video that I wasn't happy with the final build of. Not saying I'm not happy with it, but there's some changes I already know I'm going to make on it. So I'm going to run this rack for a month or two, and by the time I need another rack, I'll build another rack to that different specs, and we'll do a video on it then. And I think I like the rack a little bit better at that point. So we'll hold off for that. But I am going to do a Reptile Basics watering system today. Never done one, so it'll be kind of a glimpse of it. So you'll see how difficult it is maybe for a first timer putting it together, and see if it's something you want to tackle. I don't see it being a very difficult thing. So we'll get into that. And let's introduce you to the new animals at Hales Balls. All right, so here we go. So we picked up 12 medium-sized rats, are just about ready to be breeding size or are breeding size. I'm definitely not a rodent expert, rodent guy. I've never been a fan of rodents necessarily. So this will be a new adventure for me. Never like handle them or anything, but I already have a feeling that this little girl here is already holding. We'll see how it goes. And we did one male to 3 females. There's a boy and a girl. They are kind of neat. I've had them for a few days now. I got them on Sunday. Today is now Wednesday. Man, and they do make some noise at night. The smell's not bad. I'm not gonna say I do not smell them, because I can smell them on day 3, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Day 4, I can smell them a little bit, but it's not horrible. If I'm not next to, on top of the racks like this, I don't really smell them. My TV room is like right here for downstairs in the man cave, and I can sit down there and don't smell them. And man, it sounds like my 2 teenage girls down here wrestling at times with these guys. So we did have 3 bins of them, and we did the typical cement tubs with a wooden rack. The next ones I build will most likely be PVC with the same type of bin. I'm gonna see. I don't have a storage. I don't have a shelf under the tubs to hold them. They're just on sliding rails. They seem to slide pretty good. I've heard some things about the big tubs sagging. These are the smaller tubs, so I'm hoping that's not going to be an issue. We'll see. But I did do a food on each side here, which they've gone through pretty quick. And then right now I just have water bottles, and I already know that this is not going to be a solution. So we did go the Reptile Basics route and got ourselves a watering system. Let's go through our gut. So we went through, got a 10-pack of T-fittings, small clips, a 10-pack of that, 10-pack of L fittings, the clamps, clamps for attaching the tubing, flexible water tubing. I got 12 rodent drink valves, 1 quick connect bulkhead, and a male quick connect bulkhead. So again, this is from Reptile Basics there. All right, so this is probably a kit that you could put together yourself if you wanted to go through and source it all. It's not that crazily expensive. I mean, just a 10-pack of these T-fittings is $5.50, so 55 cents a piece, which isn't horrible. I bought 10-pack for extra, even so I only got 5 levels, clips in order to lock the rodent drinking valves in on the 1/2-inch mesh screen top. Probably could find these at Menards cheaper. They're clips to hold the 3/16 tubing on. I'd probably just use a plastic coax. I probably have some in the basement down here that I could have used. These are actually look really nice. They're very robust. The spring in them is very tight, so I'm going to help stop leaking. So I think those are going to be a great investment. They're also rebuildable, so they do sell rebuild kits. And then we got our L fittings and they were 55 cents a piece, basically 10 for $5.50. And this is pretty cool. It's a bulkhead, so you put this on the inside of your 5-gallon bucket or whatever you want to use. Put your male fitting into it, and you turn it for a quick disconnect for filling your buckets up. So when you pull the male end out, the female end won't leak. Then you take your bucket and go fill your bucket if you need to take your bucket apart to do it. So, and then of course, I don't know how much tubing they send you. Oh, 25-foot roll of tubing. So that's plenty. 25-foot roll of tubing was $7.29. So not overly crazy expensive. There's enough here for me to do a 10 rack kit. I'm only doing 5. So basically, I mean, you want to look at this, probably $35 for a 5 rack system. So let's kind of get into this a little bit and see what we need to do. All right. So first thing I did is I measured out my gap. It would have been on the top rack. I measured my distance on the top rack from this point here, which is my cross brace for feed, to the back of the rack. Got my measurement across my rack. I just made a little shelf for the top of the rack. And I took and filled this up with water. It's about 3/4 full or so. And I threw it up there to make sure it was gonna hold it. I was pretty sure it would. I mean, I'm holding this thing together with 2x4s on there, across there, double screws, 2.5-inch screws across the top. So there's quite a bit of weight there it can hold. So that's the first thing I would do, is just make sure that your rack can hold whatever water system you're putting on it. So we're gonna take our bulkhead. We'll end up taking this little white part off. I'll measure the OD of the female side here. And about here, I'm gonna attach it. I want it to be an inch or so off the bottom. I don't want to be on this lip here. So I'm gonna go right above that lip so I get a good seal. And that'll allow any kind of sediment or anything else to drop below it, so I'm not pulling it through my lines. And I'm gonna run my lines from here. First one obviously into here. So I'll come across here, I'll tee into it, boom down. Tee into it, boom down into it. Run right down, a tee, boom into it, down, a tee into it, a tee into it, and a tee into it. The bottom will be an L going over. I may need to end up putting a T there possibly, and putting an on-off drain down there I've heard about. We'll see if we need to do that or not. Well, let's go ahead and let's see if we can get this bulkhead attached and get that part started. All right, so it's about a 1/2-inch drill bit. Let's see how this goes. Try to do this one-handed. Probably gonna be a mistake. Oh yeah, big mistake. Edit that out. All right, well, as we've seen, that was a mistake. Let's do take 2. Let's start with a smaller drill bit. I'm gonna change this over to a, all right, so we're gonna change this over. It's actually a bucket for deck screws. Holds 25 pounds of screws. It's a little smaller bucket than I would like to use, but for temporary, we'll give it a go. We're also gonna start with a smaller drill bit. And go a little slower. So I think what helps is a little thicker plastic than that cheap, made in China, cheap tub. So I will end up going to a bigger tub. This is not going to be a final product, but it will get us started. All right, so let's go just a little bigger. All right. So still too small. So I'm gonna go just a hair bigger, which I believe a 1/2 inch is what this hole is supposed to be. So let's do that. Let's see what we get. All right, let's try this final drill bit. And when you know, I hit the button and turn my phone off. So I used a bigger drill bit, open that hole up, and that seems like it's gonna be just about the right size. So we're gonna leave the wash rubber O-ring on this side. We're gonna kind of turn it. Hopefully could use a tap set. Maybe tap the plastic. I think once I get the threads to bite, hopefully it'll be okay. I've seen some people take and round it out just a hair more. Want to be careful not to go too far. There we go. I keep my finger out of there. So the perfect size is a 1/2 inch with a little wallow. I'm gonna throw her stack our bulkhead on there. So I'm not expecting that to have to be very tight. Just finger tight. Maybe just a hair more. Okay. So I'll show you this male side. Now I got this attached. So you take the male side the correct way. So those two O-rings down, and you give it a turn, and you'll hear it click. That's how that quick disconnect works. Let's fill our water so we got any leaks. All right, so we got our bulkhead on. Little paper towel here. Let's dry that off. I got a little bit of a drip right there. I'm gonna see if I just snug that up just a hair more. If I can get rid of that. All right, so I just went and tightened it up just a hair more. And it seems as if I got the leak fixed. So what I'm actually gonna do is push it in the spot where the floor is entirely dry. Put a paper towel underneath it. And come back after I get the rest of the rack filled. And just double check if I think we'll be okay. So I'll wash this bin out. After that's done, I'll wash this bin and see what we get. So we're gonna end up taking our male in. It's gonna get plugged into here. If I plug this in right now and turn and twist it, water will start leaking all over the place. So we're gonna take the end of our tubing, shove it on as far as you can. There's a little bit of a barb on these fittings. Help hold the tubing on. That's why you don't chew your nails, kids. It's hard to open things. It's a horrible habit. I gotta break it. All right, so now we're gonna try this again with a camera person, because that was brutal doing that without a camera person. The Canon from Camp Canon and those other guys that do this stuff with one hand trying to put stuff together. Hats off to you guys. I don't know how you do it. That's not for me. So I'm gonna kind of go over what we've done. We've taken, I think I got a pretty good video so far of putting this thing together with a bulkhead. And go ahead, come on in, so that way you're up close. And then we put the male end in, which has a quick release. So this is gonna sit here on our water jug. Now as one thing you wanna pay attention to, you wanna make sure your cord's not on your metal down here, because your rats, if they can get to that, are gonna eat it. You wanna make sure that's up in the air. And I'm gonna end up taking and mounting this stuff down this leg. So I got the first one together, the first nozzle with the line on it. Make sure you push that line all the way on. When I put the second one on, I'm gonna show you how to get this on without trying to figure it out on your own. That way you get a little bit of a pro tip. So it has catches on there. So we'll go ahead and leave that stuff there. It locks into the grate with the front. Take the back, this is 1/2-inch mesh, and it locks right in place. That way the rats can't get it out of there. They can drink from it. So then we're gonna take our hose. We're gonna set this up to be set up like this. So we're gonna push it in and make sure, push it all the way on so that that flare is totally covered. So I'm gonna be sitting it about like that. So we're gonna come down to here. So right about in the middle here, I'm gonna take it and cut it again. We'll cut it. So take our 3-way. There you can see that flare I was talking about. So you kind of want to make sure you're setting your line up the way you're looking to run it, so you get everything pushed in correctly. So I want the line sitting about like this. Put our 3-way in. Our hose. Run off of that. Then here we're gonna put another nipple. Put it right about there. Oops. So here's what you want to do with these. You take this bracket. Here's your plunge area that the rat's gonna, or mouse, rat, ASF, whatever you're gonna be using, it's gonna drink from. So push it in, and it kind of seats itself in there really nice and tight, where the spring kind of holds it. That's when you're gonna put your line on. Once again, make sure you push all the way past that flare. Again, locked on there really tight. Let's get pushed down there. That's gonna keep that locked in place. Get rid of your 8-ounce water bottle. Making life great. Let's get some light so I can see. There we go. Really, is it supposed to be this hard? There we go. All right, locked in. So there's our furry friends. 3 females to 1 male. I got this set up. Here's one thing you're gonna notice on this rack I did build. I built this back about 3 inches or so I don't have to pull my water nozzles every time I pull a tub out. So I go put my tub in. All I gotta do is get up past that water nozzle and come in underneath the support and slide it right in. So if I want to pull it out and work on this at all, or pull rats out, sort rats, I don't have to touch my water can stay right where it's at. So we're gonna come down about halfway again. Give her a nip. Another 3-way. So we come back, I'll be finishing up the last one, and I'll show you what we do on the last one in order to end that line and actually hook the water to it and show you how it works. All right, see you guys in a bit. All right, so for the last one now, because we're ending our line, we got an L bracket. So that's gonna come in and go right to the last nozzle. This may get changed out down the line because depending on how these lines run, if they get calcium or anything and they gotta bleed them out once in a while, I may run another line with an on-off toggle switch down here where I can drain it. I see some people say they've had to do that. Some people haven't had any issues. So we'll see if that's something we have to do down the road. Put our last nozzle on. So I do have a bunch of these clips here in order to tie this all up and lock it down the line. I'm not gonna bother filming that for you guys, but I will. I mean, it's simple. You put the clamp on and you screw it on to where you want it. See how the system works. This is that quick disconnect we talked about a little earlier. You put it into the female end, you turn it, it clicks, it locks in place. Now these systems are gonna take a little bit of time to fill because it is a gravity system. So what's gonna happen is the rodent's gonna come and drink there. We've already got water. He hits that and gets his water. So that's already charged up. Let's see our bottom one here. Here we go. Hit it a couple times, water come out. I'm gonna hit all of them like that just to make sure that they're feeding water through. Hi, so that's the install of our Reptile Basics water line on our rat rack. A little bit of a sneak peek of our rat rack. Like I said, no video on making it. I'm gonna wait a month or two, see what I like about it, don't like about it. I know I'm gonna have to make another one. And I'll remake it based off of what I find and don't like about this one. And that's one that I'll do a build video on. So if you like this video, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know if you raise rats in order to feed your snakes. What have you found as positives or negatives on it? Everybody's telling me that my wallet's gonna love it, my wife's gonna hate it. We'll see about that. Hopefully it goes smooth and easy. I'm gonna start small, feed just my collection. Down the road, if it goes good and I don't mind doing it, I'll open it up a little bit more and I'll supply rats to my local fellow breeders in the area. Let's see how that goes. So if you like this video, I think I already said it, thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you're notified when I post a new video. Hit that subscribe button. Rock on.